All right, welcome back, True Seeker. Want to talk about Travis Scott of Houston, big rap star. One of his hit songs, Sicko Mode, which has lyrics about essentially a light going out. And also, again, J.J. Watt wanting to leave Houston, Watt's energy, power, at the same time as this blackout in Houston and much of Texas. And at the same time, Deshaun Watson also wants to leave Houston. But if you tuned into last night's TFR episode, Rambo called in and did his thing. He's always brilliant. And he brought in the connection to Jupiter with this whole blackout through the number 99. And I was just thinking about what other stones I could turn over in regards to this. And there's another gentleman in this community who goes by the name JY. And for all the years that I've been talking about how someday they're going to turn out the lights on us and really create chaos here. And I'm telling you guys, what's going on in Houston right now is nothing. It's just the beginning of something that's going to get much worse. And it's not just Houston, too. Portland's still without power. My mom and my sister have had to be in the same house for several days, and they can hardly get along. But JY has been bringing up this song, Sicko Mode, about maybe being connected to the power outage for years. And I think since it came out, honestly, he's been bringing it up, probably since 2018 when it first came out. But look at this, you guys. It's undeniable. So again, this song, Sicko Mode, it's got Drake in it as well. Another Illuminati puppet. But it begins with the words, sun is down, freezing cold. That's how we already know winter's here. And then later in the song, they repeat this phrase several times. Had me out like a light. Yeah, like a light. And they just keep saying that over and over. And right now, people in Houston, their lights are definitely out, along with their heater. And what's a trip is from the date that this song released, August 21st, to the day of the blackout on Valentine's Day, which again was a date that we forecast weeks in advance for when to look out for the next big power outage, darkest winter, great reset ritual, because they've been telling us all year about this dark winter coming. But from the release of that song, August 21st to Valentine's Day was 909 days. And again, in numerology, 909 is no different than 99, because when a zero is in the middle of a number, it's just like a null value. It's like it's not even there. And of course, J.J. Watt wears the number 99. And last night, Rambo called in and brought in the whole Jupiter connection. Jupiter, Zeus. Zeus is represented as Jupiter. Zeus is associated with lightning bolts, electricity. And just like it says here, on Jupiter, it's the planet's super fast rotation that acts as a gigantic electric generator. So astronomers expect electrons to be fired by very high voltages on Jupiter as well. So this planet is associated with electricity. And again, in the language of Gematria, Jupiter is associated with the number 99. And just so you can understand that these types of rituals are no accident, let me take you back to July 4th, 2016. You might recall the Jupiter probe landing, the Juno probe. And what I pointed out this day, if you guys forgot this, it was July 4th, 2016, that supposedly the Juno probe landed on Jupiter in July. Google did this for their doodle that day, changed it to Goy, which is a derogatory term for a non-Jew, on the Jupiter ritual. But what I pointed out is it was the first time in 99 years that July 4th had 47 numerology. And of course, the date July 4th can be written 4/7 like 47. The term Goy also equals 47. But again, just Jupiter 99, the first time in 99 years that, July 4th had that kind of date numerology. And again, that date numerology 47, that's a big boss number. Again, that number represents foundations, everything. It's a lot more to explain, but the point I just want to make is 99 and Jupiter, we've been documenting these kind of relationships for a long time. This post was made July 4th, 2016. So, again, Travis Scott, a Houston rapper, put out this song Sicko Mode. And just think about it, because it's sickos that run the world, and I think they must know that they're sick satanic fucks just by the name of this song. Because again, remember, these major artists and these songs that get all this recognition, like this one right here, they're not even written by these artists. They're the performers. It's just like when you watch a movie. The actors, they fulfilled the script, but they didn't write it. This is how it is in the world of entertainment. But Travis Scott of Houston, his Sicko Mode song comes out on this date, 909 days from the blackout, while J.J. Watt and Deshaun Watson won out of town. And, of course, J.J. Watt wears the number 99. But Jupiter 99, associated with electricity. And then here's the other thing. From the day they did this to Travis Scott's upcoming birthday, 75 days, right? And Electric is 75. And he's on Epic Records, which is also 75. And this is an epic ritual, making it single digits in Houston. You guys, there's got to be so many dead homeless people in the Texas area, just people that sleep outside. And, homeless people are tough. They sleep outside in cold weather, and they can handle 30 degrees, hunched up against the wall with a few layers of newspaper over. But can they handle when it drops down to 5 degrees and they don't see it coming? No. No human can. Population control, a real thing. And understand, this number 75 is a big boss number. Let me take you back to the New York Times, October 6, 1940. This goes in with the whole Jupiter thing. New World Order pledged to Jews. Why'd they write this headline October 6, 1940? Well, that date had 75 numerology, and New World Order is 75, and the Jesuit Masonic motto, Order Out of Chaos, is 75, and Order 75, and you have to ask yourself, who would have pledged the New World Order to the Jews on that day? Well, if you don't know this about the New York Times, it's always been run by Jesuits, who were created in part by Jews who had converted to Catholicism. But Catholic Church has that 75 as well, and that is what the New World Order truly is. And again, if you saw my forecast for why Valentine's Day was the day to watch out for, it had everything to do with the Jesuit Klaus Schwab, who runs the World Economic Forum, who's been talking about this darkest winter and called for the Great Reset. Okay, so coming back, if you're new here, electric equals 75 when you use the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z, the 26 letters, 26. Electric equals 39 when you use the alphabetic order and rules of numerology. It equals 141 when you use the reverse alphabetic order, just like how we knew it was a done deal that Michigan would improve to 14-1 on Valentine's Day as they did, because notice electric and Valentine are the exact same. But then that last cipher, the reverse alphabetic order with the rules of numerology, electric and Valentine also 51. And you know what else is 51? Houston Texans, who hosted Super Bowl 51. Now that I think about the J.J. Watt thing a little bit further, words like conspiracy are also 51. But you see how nicely this all comes together, taking away the electricity on Valentine's Day in this planned ritual, synced up with Sicko Mode? Because, truly, what could be more sick than doing this to people? Imagine how evil you have to be to think it's okay to just pull the plug on a city of millions of people. These are the same psychopaths, though, that have thought it's okay to, start needless wars, resulting in the deaths of tens of millions of people. And you guys, it's not just that they're killing people, they're killing nature. They're killing insects, small animals, probably big animals. I'm sure there's all sorts of farm life that are dying from this. They're creating all sorts of havoc. And this is all part of a planned agenda to depopulate, which people such as myself have been warning about nearly every single day for a long, long time. And meanwhile, a lot of people right now who are down and out, maybe even frozen to death already, they're probably the same people who might have come across a video like mine once upon a time and be like, oh, that's stupid conspiracy. Oh, I hate conspiracy theory. I don't got time for that. Okay, like I've been saying the whole time, you guys don't got time for the truth. It's going to come back to fuck up your life. People right now are experiencing that. And it frustrates me because my mom was trying to tell my sister about this the other day, and my sister went in a room, closed the door on her and just decided to watch a Netflix show. And do you know what show she's watching? It's called Schitt's Creek. I mean, the mockery. I guess one of the hit shows on Netflix is Schitt's Creek. And my sister, man, she'd be up Schitt's Creek right now if she didn't have my mom's house to go to. And like I said, next time they do this to us, your house is probably going to be without power too, and there's not going to be anywhere to go to. And I've been trying to tell my family I think it's good to get out of the Portland area because there's a reason they call that place Rip City. That's Portland's nickname. Rip City, R-I-P City. Why? And remember, last year I told you guys to circle Portland, Oregon in September 11th. I said, watch, there's going to be a bad headline in Portland, Oregon on September 11th. Dead on about that, too. The reason we knew that is because it was all synced up with their Black Lives Matter protest. September 11th was the 106th straight day of the Black Lives Matter protest. Black equals 106. I can't breathe equals 106. Portland was filled with black smoke, and the national and international headline was that Portland, Oregon had the worst air quality in the world because of all the fires ravaging all the trees right around the city. Again, this stuff's not an accident, you guys. It's weather warfare. It's advanced technology. It's mockery by the numbers. It's destruction of the earth by the numbers. It's people, all life forms. And again, they're doing this so that they can say, see, Mother Nature's out of control. Now get down on your knees and follow what we tell you to do next. Okay, but J.J. Watt, his birthday is March 22nd, 322. Remember when he wrecked Alex Smith's leg on the 322nd day of the year on the 33-year anniversary of Joe Theismann breaking his leg on the same spot on the same hash mark of the field? That was one of those really weird things. But J.J. Watt, March 22nd birthday. His birth name is Justin James. That's what the JJ's for. Justin James Watt, which equals 200, like the Great Reset, like Valentine's Day, right? And then his birthday, March 22nd, that's also the date in history the Georgia Guidestones were established, March 22nd, 1980. They're 9 years older than him. And notice that Georgia Guidestones is also 200. And again, the first thing on the Georgia Guidestones is maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Now remember where that number 500 million comes from. One more time, it comes from what's said to be the Earth's population before the discovery and use of fossil fuels. If you look at the Earth's population since the Industrial Age, it's skyrocketed because due to the use of oil, it allowed us to grow way more food, power, more energy, just a lot more ability to sustain more life, human life. And essentially what the Georgia Guidestones are saying is we need to go back to the organic earth, the pre-industrial age. And I'm not sure I disagree with that. But at the same time, to just kill off people and do rituals like this and use massive technology to make a warm city, have temperatures like it's Minneapolis on a cold day, I mean, that's just wrong, cruel, unusual, evil, all of the above. But again, been warning people about this for a long time, and so have others. And been proving it too, by telling you what's going to happen in the weather before it happens, which, again, you guys, I'm so frustrated based on the accomplishments that we have here in the last 7.5 years that, there's not like 1 billion people that are aware of this research and sharing it and invested in it and helping do something about it. Because really there should be in the information age. I just don't get it. Everyone right now could just be on their phone getting the latest intel, which they need to have. But again, it's because of cognitive dissonance, and they don't want to, and because they've been programmed to tune out the truth, because they watch the news and crap like that, and it tells them, don't get information off the internet. All information off the internet is bad. And people just take this nonsensical mind control and make it their reality. With regards to this whole 322 thing, remember, that's the number of skull and bones, powerful secret society out of Yale, which puts a lot of people in office, from the Oval Office to other politicians to CEOs to news personalities. But Bryson, our young super decoder, he pointed out to me I overlooked something. He said, Sicko mode has that gematria of 149, Zach, just like Skull and Bones does. Skull and Bones got that 149. And you see how Skull and Bones is also 41, like George Herbert Walker Bush, number 41, member of Skull and Bones. He died on November 30th. Another correct prediction. We said he wouldn't make it past November, and he would die at age 94. And we thought that was a possible date because Paul Walker, who was in the movie The Skulls about Skull and Bones, died on that date in a red Porsche, just like how he gets a red Porsche in the film, and his name was Paul Walker, not to be confused with George Herbert Walker Bush, number 41. But you see how Skull and Bones is also 2:02? That's interesting because the 202nd minute of the day is 3:22 in the morning. 322, the number that Skull and Bones identifies by. And then Skull and Bones 76. Well, that's interesting because George W. Bush, the 43rd president, the son of H.W., his birthday is July 6, 76. The guy who was in office when 9/11 happened. And again, 149 is the 35th prime. Skull and Bones is related to the Catholic Church through the Knights Templar who served the Catholic Church. 149, the 35th prime. Catholics, 35. The Jesuits are a satanic order within the Catholic Church. Satan, 35. Baphomet, their symbol's also 35. The Knights Templar were accused of worshiping Baphomet. The Knights Templar buried their dead in an ossuary, which is where the symbolism of Skull and Bones comes from. This is how all these things are related. The Jesuits have the Knights Templar cross in it. And notice something. The power company that is responsible for the power outage in Texas, they're based out of Austin, which again is Jesuit town. That's why the shill Alex Jones and now the shill Joe Rogan operate out of there. But notice how Austin, Jesuit, and J.J. Watt stack up. They're the exact same Jesuit and Austin in all four base ciphers, and J.J. Watt is the exact same in 3 out of the 4, and the only one where it's different, notice his name's 12 as opposed to 21. Like I've said many times, these athletes are born and bred to be and named accordingly and used in the planned rituals for their careers. And sometimes that goes beyond just the sports field or the basketball court or the diamond. Sometimes it's something like this. Mr. Watt, energy power, wants to leave town while Houston has no energy. And again, Deshaun Watson, too. And keep in mind the Houston Texans play in NRG Stadium, which is named after the energy company. And consider that Houston is the biggest energy city in the nation. That's part of the symbolism of this. With regards to the word energy, let me get this right slide up here. Where's it at? Okay. ERCOT has the gematria of 74 like energy, right? The energy company that's responsible for this down in Austin, ERCOT has 74 like energy. And Oregon also got hit hard. And did I not put it up here? Oh, there it is. Valentine's Day has the gematria of 74, like cold. And right now, the 2 most affected cities remaining in the nation with power is Houston's been out without power pretty much since Valentine's Day, and so has Portland, Oregon. And consider Oregon's birthday is Valentine's Day, and Oregon is the only state that has gematria of 74. So you see, this is how this comes together. There must be a Clyde Drexler joke in here now that I think about it, because Clyde Drexler is the basketball great for the Portland Trail Blazers who's from Houston. I'm going to have to look into that angle later. We'll save it for another time. But, and then, again, you guys, the music album that we've been talking about since August when it was announced, the Public Enemy, What You Gonna Do When the Grid Goes Down? Because again, if you haven't been with us since last year, from last spring, we were up on this. We're saying, man, they're telling us that in the winter, they're going to take out the power grid because they kept telling us about the darkest winter from spring of 2020. And then the Great Reset was announced June 3rd by Klaus Schwab, who also used the phrase the darkest winter. And then Public Enemy announced what you're going to do when the grid goes down. And again, from the day that it released to the Valentine's Day blackouts was 142 days later, and February 14th can be written 14/2 like 142. You see? You see how perfect that is? And I'm guessing out of this, they're going to also tell us that coronavirus cases have gone way up in the South because people, got sick because they're not used to weather, weakened the immune system. They were without food. They were in the cold. They're setting all the conditions up for more to come. I'm expecting that story not far down the road. But in light of the album, What You Gonna Do When the Grid Goes Down, again, it equals 172. Just like the name of the power company in Texas, the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, that's what that ERCOT stands for. And Public Enemy is also 172. And like we covered yesterday on February 17th, 17/2, the Washington Post and the New York Times put out the headlines about how Joe Biden needs to invest a lot in the energy infrastructure. And you know what? That's not wrong, because we're way behind. We're not doing the things that we should be doing as an advanced nation in terms of energy. We're not doing anything that we should be doing. This nation's so far behind, but realize that's the way they operate always. Order out of chaos. They create some horrible problem so that then they can have a story and a narrative to say, okay, now this is why we need to do this. Whether it's finally, revamp the power grid, or go to war with someplace. You know what I mean? Or shut you down and tell you need to stay home because there's a deadly virus out there, and now you can only shop at Walmart and Home Depot. Sorry, Mom and Pop. You're just going to have to wait around for our next $600 stimulus and get yourself in debt and give up your livelihood. But this is what they do. Create problems so that they can bring about their agendas that benefit them and their cronies. That's the way it works. And that's what people need to wake up to. And when they do their stuff, bad things happen for a lot of people. So, for one last point, actually, hold on. I think I missed something now that I see it. Let me go down a little bit further. Okay, again, with regards to the whole 322 Skull and Bones thing, what happened on Valentine's Day was exactly 322 days after Klaus Schwab's birthday, the man who invented the World Economic Forum, which is behind coronavirus and this. Again, this is that powerful Jesuit think tank out of Switzerland that now YouTube makes its rules around. Whatever the World Economic Forum and the Swiss say becomes YouTube's rules. But from Klaus Schwab's birthday to this thing was 322 days, but it was also 46 weeks. And again, Houston, Texas, 46, Astro World, 46. That's the Travis Scott album. Ordo Ab Chao, the Latin for order out of chaos. And I actually forgot to put one thing in that list. Great Reset is 46 as well in that same cipher. In the exact same cipher, it's 46. And again, the Great Reset's also like Valentine's Day, like power outage. And that's why I thought Valentine's Day would be the day. Because again, if you followed me, at the end of 2020, I said the date we really got to watch out for is January 15th, because it can be written 15/1. And before that day came, there was a big power outage in Pakistan, as you'll recall. That was the first big power outage, and it was reported there was a power outage at the Vatican that day. I'm not sure that if that was false reporting or if that happened at the Vatican, but the power outage in Pakistan was real. And when January 15th came, nothing seemed to happen. Who knows? Maybe there were some power outages in part of the world and we missed it in the news. But after it passed and it seemed like nothing happened here, I said, okay, we know they're going to do this in the winter, so what is the next date that makes sense? And then the one I found was Valentine's Day because of the way it lined up with Klaus Schwab, plus it had the numbers. And boy, did it ever have the numbers, like I said. And now we see how it all comes together. And I didn't even think about Houston, Texas, but because again, I mean, prior to this happening, I wouldn't have thought it was possible to make it that cold in Houston, Texas. I mean, it's crazy. It just shows that they're even more advanced than I knew they were super advanced, but it's even more advanced than I would have believed to make it that cold in Houston, Texas. Some of you guys are saying it's no big deal. They just moved the jet stream and brought down that northern air. I think that's what they did too. That's what makes sense to me, but no big deal. I mean, that's a lot of work to move all that cold air over all that landmass. I mean, that is sophisticated. Let's not just say it's no big deal. It's very impressive how evil they are. Oh, by the way, Sicko mode, just for the record, the word sicko has a lot to do with Jesuit. Pretty sure that's part of the name behind it. And not only are Austin and Jesuit the exact same in all four ciphers, and you see how the Jesuit and Austin are both 42. Think about Alex Jones the shill. His birthday is the 42nd day of the year. For those of you who don't know Alex Jones is a shill, listen to what Bill Cooper said about him 20 years ago. Look up Bill Cooper on Alex Jones. He'll tell you just how much of a fraud Alex Jones is. A liar and a total fraud. And everybody should know that now. I mean, the guy just is wrong about everything. But And he always says globalists. The globalists are the Jesuits. Just look at their university. On every wall at their university, they have all these phrases etched in about globalism. But notice how Austin, Texas, and Jesuit order also come together. They both equal 72, 144, and 153. And remember, the Jesuits were created on a 72 date numerology, August 15th, 1534 in Paris, France. And they were once banned by the Pope, but then when they were reinstated by the Pope, they were reinstated on the Pope's 359th day of his age, which is the 72nd prime, plus a million other things. You know, Joe Biden and Donald Trump, both Jesuit puppets, both President Biden and President Trump equal 72, and a million other things. But just like I said, Biden would become president. He'd become number 46, 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. Catholic equals 46. This whole thing went down on the Catholic holiday, Valentine's. And also, like I said, the election was on 113, and it was the 59th election, and Green New Deal equals 113 and 59, and I said that'll be the thing. A lot of weather warfare to get it in our minds that we need to really push through these radical environmental changes that will have consequences on our life and will be beneficial to the elite ruling class. I said yesterday I got to stop using that word elite because these people are scumbags, but you know what I mean when I say that, so... Anyway, shout out to everybody. Shout out to JY. Shout out to Rambo. They don't have YouTube channels. Keep telling Rambo he's got to make his own YouTube channel, but someday he'll do it. But you know who does have a YouTube channel is this young gentleman right here, Bryson Bell. He's only 16 years old, but I like him. He's got a good speaking voice, not afraid of nothing, puts his face right on the camera, calls in like a stud. And again, he just caught the Sicko mode overlap with Skull and Bones. And, you know, he's just starting up his YouTube channel. So for all the young people out there, you know, support your fellow young man, get inspired by him. You know, you guys should start launching your channels because really all you young people, you know, this is your fight. This is your fight, young people. This is your world, and you got to grow up in it. And it's not right. It's not right that you young ones... You know, you're not getting to do the things that you should be able to do, like go out and hang out with your friends and play outside and enjoy life. Because I'm telling you, when you get older, you know, you can still enjoy life when you're older, but there's not as much time as when you're young. When you're young is the time to enjoy life. The people who are getting cheated the most right now in this world are the young people, you know. So, you're going to have to fight back, young people. You're going to have to wake up. And again, for all of you who can, you know, have supplies on hand, you guys. We're not going to be out of the woods. And when winter's over, we're not going to be out of the woods. We're just not going to be out of the woods until people rise up and tear down this evil cabal. Because they're going to keep doing this to us, and it's just going to get worse and worse with time. Until, you know what? We're probably down to a population of 500 million people. You know? So... I'm going to leave it there, Truth Seeker. Appreciate all of you guys. And I'd stay around longer, but it's dinner time over here. And if Sweet Lady gets hungry, the population count's going to be down at least one more tonight. So appreciate all of you. Support Bryson Bell. Support all the other Truth Seekers in this community. I see Bryson's in the chat right now. Support that young man. And... Also, if you guys would support my new channel too, GematriaEffectNews 21 with Zachary K. Hubbard. The number's 21 because it's going to be the 21st channel. I know they're going to get rid of the channel that's still standing on just barely. But got to start building up the next one. So we'll leave it there. And until next time.